PHNX Sun Devils show for everybody today. I'm Anthony Totri. This guy right here, that's Erik Ruby. This guy over here. Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, it's been so long. I didn't know if you guys remember.
No, that's actually Daniel S. Wolf.
I thought I was Jose Perez.
No, yeah, that's fair too. This guy right here, this big pokey.
Hello.
Shane Dieffenbach. Back at it with DJ Caroline.
DJ Caroline. She's an intern.
Pushing all the buttons behind the Mac, guys. Do us a solid on this lovely Saturday. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also if you're listening on audio, leave a 5-star review. We really, really do appreciate it. Guys, we are just a couple of days away from Arizona State spring football getting underway. Shane, we talked on Friday about what Kenny Dillingham had to say. Now it is time to get into the offensive assistant coaches. You had the luxury of talking with Saga, Rashad Sample, some of those other guys. I got the chance to sit down with Jason Mohns. For you, what was it just that entire conversation like to be able to sit down with those guys that we haven't really got the chance to talk to since the transfer portal season came and ended?
Just talking shop with my dogs.
Talking shop with my
dogs.
That's fair.
No, it was really good to talk to them again. Like we said, we were talking about yesterday. It's so good to be back and like get the reaffirmation that this is the guys. Like this is the coaching staff, and it should be for years to come. Like they're all so young and so excited to be here and hungry. And even though there's going to be a lot of change coming with the new conference and you know, new landscapes to adapt to, it's still like they're still so ready to do the same thing they did last year, just on another level.
Absolutely. Erik, you and I, for really the entire offseason, kind of just been taking note of the obvious class of 2024, but the incoming freshmen or the incoming transfers that Arizona State has been able to snag from really top-tier schools along the offensive line. Jalen Clem coming from Washington, Raleek Brown coming from USC. Like, this Arizona State offense has some serious firepower, even heading into the spring.
Yeah, it's a completely different team. Yeah. It's a completely different team because even some of the guys that you had last year were either injured or didn't play as well. And I know you guys talked about what Kenny said yesterday, and he mentioned that there was 4 really good players that just did not play for them last season that are still going to be coming back. I mean, it's hard not to get excited because you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. But at the same time, when you start laying everything out on paper, it's just like, okay, they filled a lot of holes. They brought a lot of new guys in. Like when you hear the coaching staff talk, like they're very confident. Like they're not cocky, but they're very confident and solid in what they're doing. And just like the air around the program, it's lighter, but it's more serious, if that makes sense. Like stuff isn't as heavy because it just feels like they're more confident and ready to go. And I think the coaches know that the roster that they have now, the talent that they have, is going to resemble a better fit for what they're trying to implement.
Yeah, it's also just so fresh from any other coaching staff that you would have ever covered. Like, it's great.
No, it really is. And I mean, there are changes to the coaching staff, specifically at that offensive coordinator position.
Which was needed.
Yeah, that we hindered and really touched on a lot on Friday with Marcus Arroyo and just kind of what this offense is going to look like. But really, this is the second time that media has had the opportunity to sit down with Arizona State's new offensive coordinator and just get an idea as to what this offense is really going to look like. This is what Arizona State offensive coordinator Marcus Arroyo actually had to say about the ASU offense.
I don't have much of a life, so I'm a complete junkie. I really am. I've never done anything more than just football. I eat, sleep, and breathe it. I try to stay in our tree a lot been really fortunate to be around some really good minds in football. So between Dirk and Jeff and Monk and Gundy and McVay and Tedford and to watch all my tree really evolve football is probably what I first honed into before I just branch out and go watch someone who I don't really know how they're doing things. So to watch, and that tree is pretty successful. To watch the Rams or to watch Minnesota or to watch Shanahan in there, watch the Dolphins, watch these trees of guys. I know what they're built around, and to see that's probably where I spend the most time as far as scheme goes. And I think there's a lot of those commonalities with what we do.
I think for me, that is super, super refreshing just because you look at the Arizona State offense last year. There were obvious flaws. Now, you could talk about the injuries, whatever, but I think there were issues with the play calling in general. Bo Baldwin, I think something that maybe didn't get talked about enough was Bo Baldwin almost idolizing Kenny Dillingham a little bit, just in terms of he wanted to learn from Kenny, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it feels almost, you bring in a guy like Marcus Arroyo, it does feel a little bit more equal in terms of Arroyo has such a vast knowledge of the game. Not to say Bo didn't, but it is different, and I feel like these two probably work better in tandem than maybe Bo and Kenny did.
Yeah, and it's not like you don't want to knock the knowledge, but you also have to point out the obvious is the experience and how many stops Arroyo's had. You think of his time with Monken at Southern Miss. You think about his time at Oregon. You think about his time in the Big 12 with Oak State. Like, he has experience in a conference that they're going into, which is huge.
Yeah, it's truly, I think, super important. And not to mention, you got a guy who is open to learning, to going and exploring the college game, the NFL, and trying to pull the best possible plays and incorporate the best type of system that is going to improve the Sun Devil offense.
I mean, when you're in any profession, in any field, if you're willing to kind of look outside of yourself and outside of your own experiences and learn from the people around you who are very successful, it's always going to make you better. Like, there's never a scenario where you get dumber for trying to learn from the great people around you. And I think a lot of coaches say that they do that. A lot of coaches say, I'm always learning. I'm always, grinding, but they kind of get stuck in their own way, stuck in their own head, or trying to fit a certain mold. And kind of like what you said, where it felt like Bo was a little bit more like with Kenny and Marcus, like, it feels like those guys are going to go at each other in like the best way possible.
Challenge each other.
Right. They're like Kenny's going to have an idea. Marcus is going to be like, no. And then he's going to throw it back. Then Kenny's going to throw it back to him. Right. And I feel like when you have somebody who's had so much coaching experience at a lot of different levels, from like not just, he's been an offensive coordinator his entire life, right? Like, he's done everything. So when you have somebody like that coming in there and challenging you on a personal level, on a coaching level, like, that stuff builds up. Yeah. And he mentioned so many names. And of course, in theory, you talk about, Shanahan and McVay and the offenses that they run. Like, that's a pretty tall task to like replicate. Yeah. Plus, that's NFL offense. But so many of those elements can still play into this team. And it's just, it builds up the excitement even more, because it also doesn't sound like fluff. Like he said, he has no life. Yeah. Right. And that's what I need. I need that out of my coach. I need a coach with absolutely no life other than football. And it doesn't seem like fluff when he says that.
No, absolutely. And I think part of what was a big issue for Arizona State, you could talk about the injuries, you could talk about the quarterback play, you could talk about, the bowl ban hitting the team like 3 days before the first game of the season. Like, there was so much going on with Arizona State. But specifically for me, you look at what went wrong for Arizona State, and you could point to the very first game of the season when their right tackle, Emmett Bull, went down, and that was really it for his entire season. The offensive line has been transformed over the offseason with guys like Jalen Clem from Washington, Joey Sua, on top of some of the other incoming transfers that they were able to get in the portal. You return your starting center in Leaf, Ben Coleman, who we talked about yesterday, Sean Na, and that's all without even mentioning some of the highly touted freshmen that Arizona State and Saga were able to get. So Arizona State offensive line coach Saga, it's been already, I think, amazing to see just the spirit that he has with this group, because you can already hear it in his voice, something that we got the chance to really discuss on Friday and see on Thursday. But the depth of this offensive line is certainly going to be key. The confidence is another thing that I think Saga was talking about again on Thursday, how last season it really helped this team grow to that point. But it really is all about 11 on 11, getting under the lights. And that's exactly what Saga had to say. So this is what the Arizona State offensive line coach had to say about building an offensive line.
Yeah, the best experience is playing 11 on 11 football. I can drill all I want. They can prepare all they want, but until you get on the field and go 11 on 11 under the lights, then you're not really prepared. You think you are, but you're not. And for us to get young guys like Maxi Hanacho or Sean Na, even Makua Pule was in there, and some important downs. And it gets them confidence because kids like that, now they think, shoot, I belong. And they do. They're talented. Now, they may have had to play earlier than expected, but that's the growing pains of going through your first year, going through injuries like we did in that last year. Knock on wood, that was a freak injury. There's no excuses. Football, it happens. But for everything that went wrong, you gain, give someone else an opportunity to get in and get some experience. So, you go down the list of guys that played, like, wow, we got guys that played big downs and in big games. And so, which is nice because you can see the confidence in them when we are heading out to a practice or heading out to a lift. You can see the confidence that they walk around with their chest out just a little bit more because of that experience.
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit yesterday, Totri, but like one blessing in disguise from last year about all the injuries was you got the opportunity to see guys that normally wouldn't have played.
Yeah.
You got the opportunity to see Sean Na play a ton of really important snaps, as he alluded to. So it's just about building the continuity on this line because that's the only thing. That's the biggest factor about having a solid offensive line. Yeah, you can have 5 320-pound studs from Georgia that are just absolute mountains.
Units, yeah.
And that helps, clearly. But if they don't play many snaps together, they're not going to be good because you need to be cohesive as a line. You need to know that your brother to the left and to the right of you are going to protect your weak spots.
Yeah.
And continuity is like such an important thing in football, but it's even more important at the offensive line position.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there are guys that we clearly talk about. Leaf, Emmett, Ben Coleman.
We got to get Leaf back on the pod.
We do.
Leaf is so funny.
And then there are guys, right, that were either here last season, like a Bram Walden, that maybe you didn't see a whole lot out of, that you hope at some point can figure it out this year. A giant prospect for Arizona State, the Oregon transfer from last year. And then there's a guy like Champ Westbrooks coming in from the class of 2024 who is all about being an Arizona State Sun Devil, who, again, I'm super, super excited to see what they're able to do. But Erik, it's something that we talked about over the offseason. You get guys like this from the portal. You get guys like this in the class of 2024. It's cliche, but iron sharpens iron, and it's huge at a position in the trenches.
Yeah, not only does iron sharpen iron, but like Saga said, like football happens, man. Injuries happen. Yeah. And knock on wood, like you don't want the same amount of injuries that happened last year. You don't want any injuries at all, but like football is football. Offensive line is the most physical position, man. Like something's going to happen. So you need bodies, you need depth, and you need not only one unit to be able to play together, but other guys to feel comfortable coming in and to feel like, okay, I know what's going on. I know what's happening. I know what I can do. Plus, yesterday you guys played a clip from Kenny where he talked about he's going to be implementing a lot of kind of new stuff. Yeah. Right. And in order to be able to implement a lot of new stuff on offense, and with Kenny, in my mind, that's I imagine some of the craziest trick plays and like weirdest misdirections that you can imagine. You need to protect your quarterback, right? And then obviously you don't want Jaden Rashad or Sam Leavitt if he's the one taking snaps, or Trenton Bourguet to get injured at all. Like it's truly like it's the foundation of every football team, and it was something that ASU lacked last year. Not really because of anybody's fault, right? Like you get injured, like that's not exactly your fault, but it is still something that they lacked. But I tell you what's not lacking, and baby, that's OGs. Yeah. Because it's a Saturday, and right now I know you're watching this on a Saturday, man. It's time to kick up and relax, man. And you can do that by getting some OGs. Plus, not only are they amazing scratch-made gummies, and they're locally made as well, that have amazing flavors, and because they have sativas, they got CBD, they've got everything, RSOs, whatever. It's all great. They also have Gummy Madness season, where you can follow along as 8 competing dispensaries put gummy versus gummy against each other each week in a bracket to determine a champion. You can vote for your favorite gummy as the winner and receive a buy one, get one offer. It's really that easy. Like getting free OGs is huge for the program. Is the absolute best deal that you can get, because the only downside with OGs is that they're so good that whenever any dispensary restocks, they're out. They are. Like they're out. So if you can go and you can get one and they say, hey, why don't you just take another for free for telling us what your favorite is? I'll take it. Easiest deal of all time. So you can follow OG's Brands and go to ogsbrands.com to kind of follow along on their tournament and everything like that. Or if you're trying to try one of their new gummies, their RSO, the Pegs Raspberry Orange, and then they also have the big OGs, and then the OGs Naturals, which is their vegan gummy. All that you can find out at ogsbrands.com. The only caveat is you got to be 21 or over to enjoy responsibly. But trust me, even when you enjoy responsibly, you still enjoy.
They're fire. They're absolute fire. I know there's probably people watching that are like, why is Shane just checked out and not paying attention? It's probably because he's locked in on Prize Picks.
Yeah, I am currently right now. So as most of you guys know, I literally am right now. As most of you guys know, yesterday on the show, all I need is for Caitlin Clark to score a point. I think she already did that.
Probably.
The game just tipped.
I think she just starts with like 5 points.
Yeah.
They just give her 5 because they know it's going to happen.
She's bound to
and
get
if you missed out on this offer from Prize Picks, it's okay. They have these all the time. They have Taco Tuesdays where you get a discounted entry, and it's just so much more fun to watch sports with a daily fantasy app like Prize Picks. It's tournament time, and there's so much going on, which means the biggest moments in college basketball are here, and you can get a part of the action with Prize Picks for both men's and women's college hoops, which I already said. Caitlin Clark, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to get some entries on her, and you can test your skills with Prize Picks this season with season-long entries. The MLB season already started, so I had a season-long entry, but you can get season-long entries for the NFL coming up and a bunch more things. So go ahead and do that. As I said, I love it.
It's huge. That's huge for the program. I didn't know you could do season-long entries.
They're SZNs. Long entries.
That's huge.
Go to prizepicks.com/PHNX and use code PHNX for a first deposit match up to 100 bones. That's prizepicks.com/PHNX. Use that code PHNX. Get your $100. Pick more, pick less. It's just that easy. You want to hear my entry?
Let's hear it.
It is not Brandon Ingram because he lost Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. His knee. Yeah.
Not good. Open entry.
No
there
bueno. No bueno.
Vlad Guerrero, more than 33.5 home runs.
Okay.
Luis Castillo.
3.5?
33.5.
So he's like, I got that.
I'm like, I'm on it.
Luis Castillo, more than 195 strikeouts. Julio, more than 32.5 home runs. Aaron Judge, less than 44.5 home runs. That is so many home runs.
That's a high line.
And then Matt Olson, less than 42.5 home runs.
Okay. I like it. I'm stoked for the NFL season, so I'm definitely going to be doing some of those.
Taking Keenan Allen less than everything.
Yeah, except receptions. That dude again, you want to talk about somebody that just starts a game with points and receptions? It's him. He starts the game with at least 4 every single time. It's ridiculous. But that's probably going to be the way that Elijah Badger is going to be starting the Arizona State season.
Elite
because
transition right
this
there.
man, all he does is succeed in the maroon and gold, and he was able to stay at Arizona State. I know there were some Sun Devil fans that were on the edge of their seat, as it really is in today's era of college sports, where the season's over and you're like, please stay, please don't go to a rival. Like, there's so many things that come into play when you are a top tier talent at a school like Arizona State. But obviously, Elijah Badger, he is an Arizona State Sun Devil. This is what his position coach Rashad Samples, had to say about EK staying in Tempe.
Yeah, Badger's a game changer. You know, his ability to make guys miss, his ability to shape shift in space, his spatial awareness, his understanding of the game, his body control, is able to torque his torso and upper body to make plays. His big play ability is insane. He's tough. He's physical on contact. He turns into a running back when he catches the ball. I mean, he does a lot of things good, and he's continuing to grow mentally and go through the maturation process as a player. So I think the sky's the limit for Badge.
I'm so excited. Like, obviously, we all know he's good.
Yeah.
But given another year and given, like, last year, the offense built around him, we talked about all the injuries, the different rotating quarterbacks in all the time. Hopefully, this thumb for Jaden Rashada gets fixed over the spring. You head into fall, you head into the actual season, and you got Jaden Rashada and Elijah Badger. And right. And Badger, everything that Rashad said was correct. Like, he is almost like the perfect wide receiver prototype. Like, if you're going on the new EA College Football 25 that's dropping this summer, and you're like, man, I just need like a good wide receiver one. Like, Elijah Badger is the perfect.
But you got to
bill.
play at ASU because he's not transferring.
No, he's not.
Do not get him in the portal.
No. That's how you know it'd be an unrealistic video game.
Yeah.
Is if Elijah Badger transfers away from ASU. So, and that also on top of it all, like in today's era of college football, he's such a rarity.
Yeah.
Because there was like, there's the fear because he's so good, but like, there's really no fear when it comes to Elijah Badger. Like, he's a Sun Devil. He wants to be here. He wants to stick it through.
Especially after his freshman year when he barely got any touches, but he had the tape to be like, look what I can do when I get the ball.
Right.
2 touchdowns on 11 touches or whatever it was. Like, he definitely could have left after that year.
Yeah.
Definitely could have left after the year before. And then
those
the
were
next year,
rushing touchdowns.
And the last year, those were rushing touchdowns, both on end arounds.
That's
awesome.
crazy.
Badger's so great. And I talked to Samp a little more about it, and because he mentioned his maturation and how he has matured off the field. And obviously he is like he's going to be looked to as the natural leader of this wide receiver group. People lead differently. Like just because you're the best player doesn't mean you have to be the leader. But he said he challenges Badge every day, and he wants to make sure that Badger knows that Samp wants the best for him always.
Yeah.
And whether that be because he needs to run a crisper route or because he needs to lead better, like Rashad Sample's going to challenge him.
Yeah, and we saw it last spring, right? He doesn't just lead the offense. This is a guy. Ek is he will chirp at the DBs.
He's honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And him and Rowe would go at it every single practice, and it was so damn fun to watch. And I feel like if you're a guy like Ed Woods or if you're Terrence Welch, you're Mason Williams, any of these guys, Cole Martin, you're coming in. That's the guy I want to line up against.
I don't remember who he said it to, but there was one moment that stuck out specifically in fall camp. It was either fall camp or spring ball. He beat somebody on a route, and he toasted him and caught the pass, and he looked at the guy and went over to him and yelled a bunch of things. And one of the things he yelled was, "You suck. You need more reps. You need more reps. Line. You suck."
Yeah.
It's not like you guys talk to each other.
Oh, absolutely. But we make each other better.
Yep.
We make each other better.
Iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely. Yep. Last season, 65 catches, 713 yards, 4 total touchdowns, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground. I know EK definitely wants to see the end zone a lot more this season. But again, we've kind of danced around it. Like the idea of Elijah Badger entering the portal is certainly something that crossed ASU fans' minds, as it did when they saw guys like Jalen Conyers, Jordan Clark, potentially a guy like Jaden Rashada, or even a Cam Scadaboo. So it's just the day and age that you live in with college sports. And it's something that all three of us have talked at length about. But this is what ASU wide receiver coach Rashad Samples had to say about the era of college sports. And it really is a poaching game.
It's the landscape of college football these days. It's a player poaching game. You know, you take players from other schools, but I think when you build, I think at the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter how much money, no matter whatever, right, there comes a time and play where genuine relationships matter. You know, where real relationships matter. And there's a threshold, obviously, for amount of money, but, you know, I think relationships can hold things together. And I think, you know, we have a relational room, we have a relational team, we have a relational coaching staff, and it starts from the top to the bottom. And I think it's allowed us to keep the players here that we need and that we want.
It's one thing to hear from Kenny Dillingham, but it is another to go sit down with 5, 6, 7 assistant coaches that all say the same damn thing. Honesty and relationships, they are going to mean something. Yes, at a certain point, there's a threshold for money where it's just, hey, it's stupid, and that's what's going to impact your future more than this. But at the end of the day, the Arizona State coaches believe that relationships do matter in this era of college sports, and it's going to help them keep players like Elijah Badger.
And this conference realignment has turned this small town into the Ottoman Empire, where now their stretch reaches so far because the Texas to Tempe thing isn't just a pipeline.
It's real.
It's a territory.
Yeah.
Like that is.
It's a territory.
It's so much easier for Sam. We talked to him yesterday about it. We talked to BC about it a little bit yesterday. Like it's that much easier to recruit in the Midwest when, hey, look, our product is coming to you.
Yeah.
Like we're going to play. Now it's not come to Tempe, it's come to Stillwater. Like drive down to Waco for a game. Like it's so much easier for him. And that's only going to help 1, retain players, but 2, get players here.
And that's kind of the thing when we talk about the Big 12, because it is a step up. I mean, especially in basketball, we're more football here. Like just the markets that you're in for football specifically are they're gold mines. They're absolute gold mines. And you were already doing really good with this current staff. And we give Kenny a lot of credit, as we should, right? Like he's the head coach. He's spearheading the entire thing. But none of this works if Kenny has guys below him that don't share that same mindset.
Yeah, it's fair.
That don't go and try to just build relationships with players. The same way that Kenny says, like, I don't want somebody who doesn't want to be here. Like Rashad Samples isn't going in trying to sell somebody on ASU who wants to leave ASU. Like they only want people who want to be here. But the beautiful part is a guy like Rashad is Coach Samp, he's going to get people to want to be here. And as this team gets more successful, now they're moving over to the Big 12. This coaching staff gets their fingerprints on a lot more players in a couple more seasons. Like it's hard not to see a lot of success coming. The only very, very down the road roadblock that you could see is that these guys do so good that they get higher positions somewhere else.
But then at that point, then we're talking about Arizona State's doing better.
Like you'll take it, right? Yeah. Like you have a coaching tree, right? Like Kenny Dillingham coaching tree. Rashad Samples goes up and takes a higher position somewhere else because he's been so damn good here. But again, everybody wants to be here.
Yeah.
The coaches, the players, and hopefully now the fans follow.
And part of the relationship building aspect that I think you see here is how young the coaching staff is at Arizona State, right? A Rashad Samples can relate a little bit more to an Xavier Guillory, Elijah Badger, or Jake Smith than some of those other coaches. And that really is the way a lot of these position groups are kind of constructed and built. Now, you do have some outliers in certain positions, but they still have that same energy to them. They have the youthful energy of a guy that, hey, is going to be running on the field, yelling, sweating, getting out there. And that's something that you can see it when somebody talks, but I don't think people truly understand what Kenny Dillingham was as a person until you get out there for the very first spring ball and you see this dude wearing a hoodie, sweats, the sun is like beating down and he's sprinting. Like
his voice is gone the first day. And
absolutely.
Okay.
But that's what you want of your football team, your football coach.
And the assistant coaches are so relatable too, and that's so big right now.
Yeah.
Like so big in NIL, so big in today's landscape of college football and recruiting. You just want relatable guys.
You do.
You don't want Herms, like you just don't.
No, you didn't like Herm?
You don't want Herms.
No. I know we've talked about Herm, but how do you feel about Herm?
About Herm Edwards?
Stop it.
Oh, I love her. No, fuck that guy. Like,
well, okay. Let's.
No, dude.
Better get crazy with it.
No, dude.
No. We're not talking about Herm Edwards. Stop it. We're not doing this.
Okay, well, let's talk about Circle K because they have absolutely
way better than Herm Edwards.
everything that you need, including a free membership program called Inner Circle. Super easy to download on your phone. The interface of it is awesome. And they've got amazing deals that are going to help you guys save money. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. And then after that, you're probably thinking, well, it's just my first 5 fill-ups. I'm going to delete it after. But why would you do that when they're going to help you save 3 cents per gallon every single day after that? And hey, maybe saving money on fuel isn't enough for you. Well, how about you get every 6 free on a selection of those Circle K products, pizza, coffee, ice cold fountain drinks, and more. Not to mention, they have things at their stores that I literally have never seen anywhere else. They had like a ghost juice, like, I don't know, had vitamins, all sorts of stuff that I'd never seen anywhere except at Circle K. Literally, I go there at least once a day for everything that they have. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions do apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details.
Also visit all of these wonderful landscapes we have in Arizona. I'm a big hiking guy.
You're a big hiker.
Big hiker. Look at these calves.
Yeah,
those are some hiking calves.
No, there's no jiggle on that thing.
Your leg is like the size of me.
Thanks, man. That means a lot.
Yeah. You're built.
It also, really?
Yeah.
It also means a lot that the Arizona Lottery is trying to get people outside because people need to be outside more.
I feel like I need to be outside more.
Yeah.
The people that are on Twitter need to be outside more.
Touch grass.
Touch some grass.
Touch some dirt in the mountains.
Go win some money also. And what better combination is there than touching grass and winning money?
None.
I can't think of a better one.
Maybe just like a beer.
But you can just mix it in there.
Yeah,
have a beer while you're touching
put it in your
grass.
Camelback.
Wow.
Be fantastic. And right now you can play the Arizona Lottery with their new unique ticket and promotion called Arizona Adventure. Go to Monument Valley, Camelback Mountain, Picacho Peak, win up to $50,000. You can also check out their geolocated adventures, so you're not lying. You have to trust yourself.
True.
They have to trust you. You got to check into their geolocated adventures from Flagstaff to Yuma. You got to visit www.arizonaadventure.com for details and directions. Check in at the destination coordinates on the website or do the tickets. You can win up to $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It's also about giving back to the state and its communities, whether that is making you touch grass or help with conservation. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash. And Arizona travel prizes.
I think talking about Arizona State and just the state of the program, the offense specifically, right? Trying to round out this episode. We talk a lot about the quarterbacks. We talk a lot about the running backs, wide receivers, offensive line, the new system in and of itself. And I think one position that gets kind of left behind in this discussion is the tight end room.
Yeah, because there's a void in my heart still.
There's a void in your heart.
My bestie.
You can call him at any time.
My bestie. I can.
Anytime.
I can. We're still going to tweet that
clip. That video? Anytime he scores?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's against us.
That's fair. That's not going to be okay. I think I will go on the field and tackle him myself.
Yeah.
He'd be like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
Jalen,
do you think you could tackle him?
Well, we've talked about
together.
It would take 3 of us, right?
It would probably, yeah, absolutely. If you know, you know. But yeah, Jalen Conyers, Messiah Swinson gone. This tight end room certainly looks different. You've added guys like Marcus Douglas from Florida State, who is a unit of a tight end.
Not just one unit. He's probably two.
He's probably 2.5 units. Cameron Harpool coming over from San Diego State. Bryce Pierre, a guy who, when I was talking with Jason Mohns the other day, said it was almost a bummer that they had so much depth in the tight end room because they felt like Bryce Pierre had one of the better spring camps out of everybody on the team.
Speaking of getting somebody on the podcast, we got to get him back on. That man is so funny.
BP is a dude. He is a dude that I think is going to have an absolute phenomenal season.
Dude.
People call you,
dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that.
How do you guys feel just in general, Eric? I'll start with you. Just the way the tight end room has been built, because it is different.
It's definitely different. I'm excited, maybe less about the pass catching side of it and more about the getting down and dirty side of it. Like we mentioned the offensive line a little bit before. Obviously, your tight end can be an extension of that, and Marcus and Douglas kind of coming to the forefront as multiple units of a man that he is. I do feel like with the different types of running looks that Kenny wants to throw out with Scat, with Ralik, and with, a very stacked running back room, honestly, I feel like they're going to open a lot of that up. And then once they do that, then the sides kind of open up, the flats open up. You can hit your tight ends. You can have them catch some passes as well. But I feel like it's going to be less of an offense ran through them as far as pass catching goes, but they're going to have the same impact, just in a different way.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, look, one thing that lacked with the tight end room last year specifically was the run blocking. And it was you look back at some of the tape and you see what Cam Scattaboo and DeCarlos Brooks were able to do in some of those games. And you're like, I don't know how they did that with a makeshift offensive line and tight ends and wide receivers that were it wasn't their forte, was to go out there and run block. They were very talented wide receivers, but it wasn't really their thing. Same thing in that tight end room. Now I feel like you've got some guys like a Cameron Harpool or a Marcus and Douglas that are built to actually, they're people movers.
Yeah, it's their forte, and it's also their fortier.
There you go.
To be able
to. Your Fortier? Yeah. You're Jaden Fortier. Jaden Fortier, the Golden Goose, as Jason Mohns called him. He won't be participating in Arizona State's spring season due to recovery from ACL surgery, but he is absolutely going to be a contributor for Arizona State throughout his career, and I can't wait to see him.
Number one.
Number one what?
Number one in Oregon.
Number one player out of Oregon. He's going to be a problem when he gets back on the field. But this is what Arizona State tight end coach Jason Mohns had to say about that Golden Goose.
Timeline is to be ready by fall camp. Obviously, we're gonna be extra cautious with him. He's the Golden Goose coming in. A high profile kid that we're excited about. He blew up. He had a phenomenal senior year. Had some big time offers of people that tried to come in late and steal him. But he's a Sun Devil, man. That's why I'm excited about him. Is he loved Arizona State from an early on standpoint. Even through all the success he had and the attention he got and some of the offers he got late, he never wavered from wanting to be a Sun Devil. And you hate to see a kid get hurt in the state championship game, but you also love a kid that he never left the field. He was All-State, first team All-State on defense and on offense. He's a football player. He loves football. He loves Arizona State. And so you're getting a kid that's coming in that's eager. He's excited. He's ready to work. He's going to be a great addition. Again, when I talk about diversifying our tight end room, I think you can look at the 4 scholarship guys that we'll have when he gets here and really see diversity amongst that group as far as their skill sets, their size, their length, their athleticism. It's very balanced. I think they all complement each other. So we're going to be patient with Jay and let him come in, make sure he's really healthy, really confident. We don't need to rush him, but at the same time, once he's good to go and he's got the green light, we're going to let him compete because he's a competitor, and so that's what it's about. It'll make our room better.
Shane, yesterday I said it defensively, LaTerrence Welch is the guy that I'm most excited to see. Mm-hmm. I think offensively, when Jaden Fortier gets on the field, I think it's going to be him on the offensive side.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're that juiced about it?
I am. He's built like a freak.
Like it's no knock on him. It's just a testament to how good this offense is and how fun some of the pieces are going to be.
For a guy that was all conference.
He's built like a freak.
He's built like a freak. Yeah,
I've never heard anybody describe somebody who's built like a freak. He's just like he's a physical freak. I've heard he's built like a brick shit house, but I've never heard he's built like a freak.
He's built like a freak.
He's built.
Yeah.
He's scary.
No, absolutely.
That's fair.
This is a guy that was all conference in high school on offense, on defense, did ridiculous things, and never came off the field. And to have a guy like Jason Mohns, who has been around top tier talent, specifically in the tight end room, who has coached 1,000,005 different players. Oh, wait, now it's 1,000,006 that are going to the NFL, right? Defensively, offensively. He understands what a quote unquote golden goose looks like. And Jaden Fortier offensively is going to do some amazing things for Arizona State because he's not just one of those, okay, I'm going to stick my hand in the ground and get off there. He's a guy that you can line up on the perimeter. Yeah. He can be.
He's going to get tush pushed.
What we talked about yesterday, right? In terms of Raleek Brown, Jordan Tyson, Caleb Black, guys that you move pre-snap. Jaden Fortier, I think, is going to be a matchup problem when he gets on the field.
Who is this? Where is he
Where's
going?
the freak going?
Where is he going? Whoa!
If the play they called for him, they just started honking on the field.
That's what you hear when he runs by you. Honk! You're like,
I mean, that would throw me off.
They'd be like, what the?
It'd be like
the whole team.
His touchdown celebration. If he just flapped the wings.
It'd be like that thing where the trick play was just everyone started barking and everyone's like, what the fuck?
I can see Kenny doing that. Everybody starts honking.
Oh my gosh!
And they push Jaden Fortier.
That would be incredible. That would be absolutely incredible.
We need to get that emotion.
We do. Look, before we close off this episode, I'm curious. Yes, close off, not close out.
What is wrong with you? So I don't know if you know this joke about Totri, but he is the king of mixing like two sayings together,
phrases together.
It's insane and it's consistent. That's what I respect about it. It's consistent. He knows he does it.
His brain just works too fast. Yeah. You know, he's thinking like multiple things at once.
Two great things. We're gonna mold them together. You know. Yeah. It is what it is.
It's also basketball season. Like close out is fine.
Yeah. No, close off. Okay. Beep beep. We're closing it off. So for
like a door closing.
Wait, no, because you made like a truck backing up sound.
Yeah.
That's not what. That's
okay.
So which position group are you most excited to see next week at Spring Ball?
The DBs.
The DBs.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of ironic. We're doing an offensive episode, and you're like, the defensive backs.
Yeah.
What about you, Eric?
Well, you just asked what position.
I know that's on me.
Offensive, it's wide receiver.
Okay.
Since you're not going to see Jaden because he's the golden goose. Some are saying. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but he's the golden goose. I think tight end gets taken out. Since he already said wide receiver, I'm going to go with running back.
Okay.
There's just so many. I'm sorry, I'm just very distracted by the honk.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm honking while you're talking.
I can't see how a defense could defend against that. I need to see the honk and spring ball. That's what I need to see.
Honk ball.
But I think it's the running backs. I want to see Scat with a beefed up offensive line in front of him and a couple new weapons to play around and Raleek. I mean, he can kind of fit into both the running back and the wide receiver room. But I'm really excited about him.
Yeah, I think for me, I've been pretty consistent throughout the offseason in terms of the group that I'm most excited to see, and I think it's the linebackers for me. They definitely added some serious talent in a Keyshawn Elliott, Osiris, and some of the other guys, a Jordan Crook. So that unit for me is certainly going to be the most exciting, but I don't know if it's as exciting as being able to get affordable tickets to the NBA playoffs.
That's pretty exciting.
Like you can on Game Time. I don't know if you guys have personally used Game Time.
Gazame Time.
I've used it a gazillion times. A gazillion what?
A gazillion Gazames.
There you go. It's truly incredible. The interface of the app, the ticket pricing is ridiculous considering you can get last minute tickets for ridiculous prices.
When things hide from me and they're like,
where's the deals?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
not on Game Time.
You can find the deals and you can also make sure the fees don't hide from you.
Yeah.
Oh, those hidden
pricing.
That's the worst part.
Because you're like, I'm going to the D-backs game for $40 a pop. Psych.
You're going for 140.
Yeah, your tickets are expensive.
Yeah.
You spend a good amount on concert tickets. You're like, oh man, I got a budget, buy these concert tickets, and you go to the processing fees, and it's a whole new ticket. It's literally just an extra ticket.
Not on Game Time. And another part of Game Time that I love using is it could be like a random Wednesday or Thursday or whatever, and I'll have some free time. I'll be like, okay, I kind of want to go out, want to see what's going on. You can go on the Game Time app and it'll show you all the games and events and concerts and shows going on right in front of your face. You don't even have to Google it.
Concert scene too. So
really, they really do, guys. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Shane, March is a great month.
It's the best month.
Is it not?
It's the best month.
What if I told you it just got better, though?
How?
Is that possible?
I don't know.
I can tell you that it actually is. Because our friends over at Sombreros is offering PHNX listeners and hosts and
geese.
Yeah, that's true.
God, I didn't realize today's show was going to be all
so geese-centric.
Yeah, that's on me.
PHNX listeners or anybody that is involved with PHNX get 20% off their orders for the entire month of March. The entire month of March. If it wasn't great enough that you can watch Auburn, boat race, Yale.
That's crazy that he said that.
Yeah. I know. I'm putting it in the air.
Wow.
I'm putting it in the air.
That's crazy.
I'm putting it in the air.
You know who to come after if things go haywire.
No.
Things already happened.
Yeah.
You're right.
You guys are idiots.
And Yale won.
Yeah. Auburn,
Yale won.
Auburn already blew them out by 50. Anyway, guys.
Yeah, I am.
Anyway.
As always.
Sunburrows, family owned and operated, voted Arizona's most loved Mexican restaurant. Now you can get it for a little bit of a cheaper price. You can also get some catering if you're having a little fiesta for March Madness, or really anything. If the NBA playoffs are coming up, or you want to watch some of the Suns games for the rest of March, you can do all of that and get your entire party catered with their platters. I personally, man, I like the chimichangas, or just call them the
You're
mini
a chimmy
chimmies.
guy?
I'm a chimmy guy.
Mini chimmies are better than chimichangas.
That's fair.
I'm gonna say that right now.
And you can put that in the universe. That's fair. But listen, whether you're a chimichanga, mini chimmy, burrito, taco, chips, guac, any type of person, you can get 20% off your order up to $100 when you use code PHNX at checkout for the whole month of March. It's available in restaurant and drive-through and when you order online, but not through third-party delivery. Just visit sunburrows.com for more details.
What's going on, Anthony?
Nothing. You make me laugh sometimes.
That's good.
Yeah, it is what it is. Guys, that is going to do it for today's special edition of the PHNX Sun Devils show. Yeah, we're closing off Hong Kong Shoe. Guys, if you enjoyed the content, again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a 5-star review if you're listening on audio. Follow the show at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow this guy over here at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. DJ Caroline, I know you said it yesterday, but where can everybody follow you on social media?
Caroline, K-L-L-Y. No vowels.
DJ Caroline, she's an intern.
DJ CK.
DJ CK. That goes better.
It flows.
DJ CK. Her name's Caroline. She's an intern.
You can follow that guy right there at Shane Deef.
I'm ready to beat some ass if somebody fucks with my bets again. As always.
Wow. Erik, he's talking to you. Guys, we will see you on Monday. But in the meantime, go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.